So special occasions, yeah, you're getting good at this now. You can do this. When we think about the importance of photography, don't we think about special occasions? Absolutely. I mean, think about it. Weddings and birthday parties, holidays. The good thing is, special occasions like this, they usually are loaded with these moments that we want. So now it's time to take that intimate knowledge you have and actually anticipate what's going to happen so that you can get even better pictures. That's great. For example, you've been to a bunch of weddings. You know the bride and groom are going to kiss at the end of the ceremony. You know they're going to walk down the aisle as a newly married couple if they get married indoors. You know they're going to feed each other cake and get all messy at the reception. You know they're going to dance around in circles till the wee hours. You know this stuff's going to happen. So to summarize, you know you're going to be having a good time and the people you're with are as well. So there's no reason why you can't capture all this. Special moments abound at things like weddings and birthday parties and so forth. This is one you'll really be able to hit a home run with and have fun on. Let's walk through all these things now using the techniques we've learned in the course so far. We're going to talk about how I work weddings and birthday parties. Our photos from these events, really, you guys, above all the rest, should be fun, surprising, and well done. This matters. This matters. Let's talk about what works well and doesn't work so well using wedding pictures I've taken, for example. Let's look at a wedding, okay? This is one that's nice. It's on a summer day up in Minnesota. The light's overcast. I thought I'd actually shoot this as a wedding gift for the couple. I'd known the groom since he was a little boy. So when I'm shooting something like a wedding, I'm shooting candidly almost the whole time. I'm not really the official hired wedding photographer. They didn't even know I was going to bring my camera. But I go about this as if I'm just on another National Geographic assignment. And I try to appreciate the little moments that seldom get photographed, the little bitty things. I try to get pictures of people enjoying themselves. If they're having a great time, maybe there's interesting and amazing things there right in front of the camera. Far better than I could ever dream up. So I just let people do what they're going to do. You don't want to interrupt a wedding ceremony anyway. I just let people go. I don't talk much. I really just hang out, and it pays off. In this case, I had minimal gear. I had a Nikon D3 and just one lens, my 24-70 zoom, my workhorse lens. That's it. I wanted to actually enjoy the wedding and the reception, so I wasn't all burdened down by gear. We were on vacation after all, and I wasn't the official photographer. I was just kind of hanging out. So everything you're seeing here was shot with that one lens and the one body and no flash. Now that's the official photographer. She's directing people, but I'm just kind of playing off what she's getting. If she's having the couples and their kids stand around, that's fine. I'm just going to shoot whatever it is I can get by being a fly on the wall and photograph the events of the day. I love working candids. These are a little bit staged for me, but you know what? They're what was going on. The wedding photographer had this going on. I don't know what this one was about using a lawnmower, but I just keep shooting and shooting and shooting. I eventually shoot the parents of the groom walking down a trail together. And then I do get the couple by myself, and this is what I do with them. Just on the way to the reception, just have them stand there and just shoot whatever happens. Just let them do their thing and goof around. Fine, that works. That's just fine. And that's cute. That's cute. Doesn't seem so forced that way. Let's talk through a few other weddings that I've shot. Now, I've never done a wedding for pay, mind you. I'm just going to talk about the things that I shoot in terms of the highlights from the perspective of a photographer, a guy who likes to shoot candids. I don't want the pressure on me of getting paid, so I just do this for friends, and it works out great. So this is just in downtown Lincoln, and I try to work my way in so if I'm a close friend, obviously I am if I'm shooting this wedding. If I'm a close friend of either the bride or groom, I want to photograph them as they get ready. Brides and bridesmaids go through a very long ritual, don't they, of putting on the hair and the makeup, and it's full of great images, all that is. So I try to get there early, for sure get the makeup getting put on. With the grooms, it's a little tougher because they don't have as much stuff to put on. Get them tying their tie, that'll work too. Whatever I can do. Just try to get there a little ahead of time and just photograph little details, little nervousness before the wedding is fine. whatever I can do. It all works. So I know it sounds rather merciless of me, but visually, it's better if you're there early because then you can see the not so great stuff too. I kind of like shooting everything, as you know. I'll shoot my kids crying. I like to shoot other kids crying too. If I can get to a wedding early and work that, some kid having a meltdown, I'll shoot it. If I can get the bride a little frustrated, or I can get the bride wigging out a little bit, that's good. That's good. You know, I found if you just hang out and keep your eyes open, you'll see a little bit of everything, and a lot of it will be very interesting. You know, cameras abound at weddings too, and I also think it's fun to shoot others actually taking pictures of the wedding party. I go through and shoot the paparazzi, I guess, like a paparazzi scene. Friends and family all blasting away at the couple. I try to do that every time. There's more and more of these camera phones out there, so I try to photograph just anything I think is interesting. In other words, I try to make pictures of other people making pictures, and I also try to show what they're showing. What are they working? And I try to do it a little bit better. If the couple's posed there as they get ready to say their vows, I try to zoom in. If the wind is an element, instead of fighting the wind, I'll try to shoot that and show the effect of wind. And try to show the couple kind of going away as they leave the reception. I always try to do this in a respectful way, by the way, always. What do I mean by that? I do my homework. You know, many places of worship, like churches, synagogues, they have rules about where you can and can't go and what you can and can't do. I try to really learn this and respect this stuff. I try to do my homework first. I will talk to the minister of the church and find out where I'm allowed to walk and where I can stand. Some places are sacred. I can't stand here. I can stand there. You really do not want to get in trouble with the church or the synagogue because you were moving around too much or because you didn't ask them permission. Most places are really pretty good, by the way, if you ask permission. They'll give you special access off to the sides or behind the scenes, up in the balcony. You really need to find out who runs the place ahead of time and get permission. Besides, won't it be hard to find the dressing room at the church if you've never been there and you have no clue where it is? So go ahead of time, scout it out, do your homework. And also, the other thing too, when I shoot weddings, I think about detail shots all the time. Feet, hands, flowers, rings, table settings. I love flowers centered on people. Name cards, the shoes of the bridesmaids is always fun. The detail shot of the ring, anything I can, just little detail shots add depth to a coverage. They add a little bit more they're like seasoning in a way to the main dish. You know, the wedding reception also, it's a whole other ball of wax. Generally, when you're shooting a wedding reception, it's time to pull out all your low light photography tricks on that one. Make sure you take a look at the lecture on on low light coming up in the course. Low light is what receptions are all about usually, because they're usually held in the evening. For me, as a guy who has as a daughter, the most touching elements of the wedding reception are the couple's first dance and the father-daughter dance. I try to shoot everything going on up to that point, but the father-daughter dance to me is a very serious thing. And I love the way with a little bit of flash and a long exposure to soak up the light in this room. We have a nice hard edge there. That's my assistant Katie actually on her wedding day. But I love the way that it's a serious, solemn moment. It's a sad, kind of a bittersweet moment with the father-daughter dance. And I try to work natural light. I don't pop the flash off very much if I can get away from it. These people are not in total darkness, you know. You just try to capture it without ruining the moment by blasting it with flash. Or if you do use flash, just use a little bit of it. Later on, there'll be obviously cake cutting. They'll feed each other cake. That always makes good pictures. That happens kind of fast, so you need to be ready for it. No problem. That's just bouncing a little light off the corner. It's not the best of situations, but you know what? That little bit of flash will freeze the action and make things look more natural, right? I'll bounce the flash off the ceiling if it's low enough. I'll put a flash card on my camera, just a little bounce card on my flash, off to one side. Any way I can light it, I will. It's all a big experiment to me, right? Now, you know, as the night gets later, there's going to be more and more colored lights. People are going to be drinking. I just try to capture what I can. And I try to use ambient light. That means I keep my shutter open a long time to avoid that bat cave look. I'll put flash in there if things still aren't bright enough, but it's kind of a last resort for me. You know, most of the time these wedding receptions, they're at night, they're indoors, and it's tough. just leave that shutter open a while. Really soak up that ambient light. That's what a long shutter speed is for. I'm not using a tripod. I'm hand holding. There's too much action for a tripod. I'm trying to get all that colored light and the swirl and the dance of life. That is all very good stuff to me. It really is. So I want to go back to that Minnesota wedding for just a bit and just kind of take you through what happens after the wedding. After all, the wedding ceremony to me is just a starting point. There's nothing about it that's really that surprising. You know, the couple goes up, they're married by a minister, they walk out. Now let's see where we're going to go. Let's go to the, wow, over the hill? You mean they had a giant tent? And it was translucent and it's going to let light in? Wow, folks walk through the woods into this clearing with this big white tent. And man, there are lots of opportunities to do some portraits up against the side of it or inside. There was nice soft light, which was really great. So let's go inside the tent and look around a little bit. Look at that, just awash in beautiful light. When we're inside that tent, I'm looking to see which way the light looks best, of course. But really, it was hard to take a bad picture, isn't it? The light's kind of soft and it's filtered and you can just do a lot of things. I wander inside and I wander outside. It's kind of an overcast day, and I'm trying to just work anything I can see. I really try to work this and make every background sing, whether it's grass, whether it's looking at the outside of the tent, whether it's up on the hill, people playing croquet. I got lucky here because the light was fairly soft. I got lucky too because they sent an ice cream truck, all you can eat ice cream out of this truck because they ran out of food at the reception. That was all right. I'd never had 6 ice cream bars before, but I did that day. I think my boy beat me with 8. Yes. So anyway, what else? Detail shots. Details, of course. Tight shots of anything I can get. Working around inside here. The best part, you know, I went there as a guest. But by shooting this, I have this wedding gift for them. Something they'll always treasure. You know, they're always going to be young in these pictures. These pictures have stopped time. Look at this. Raising the glass is toast. You cannot point your camera any way in here and really have a bad image. And he's listening to his dad toast him, and it's powerful. And I'm just really glad that I can be there and help him out. I show some of the guests and everything that goes on that day. Get back outside. The later in the day, the lower the light is. That's great. The lower the light is, the more pretty the light is. Saying a prayer. Here's where it gets good. We're out on the dance floor. Love the black and white checker dance floor. It just so happens that, look at that. That dance floor is actually lit well. Holy cow, look at this. Off we go. The light gets better and better and better, and people are having more and more fun. Just a beam of light. People getting excited. Beams of light. I'm always looking for beams of light. And a little kiss at the end, right? So, you know, the next day I gave them a little slideshow. I always do this. And I like to take pictures of people that were at the wedding watching the slideshow. That's the happy couple. But I've done this for many friends. I love photographing people as they watch the pictures. It's good. It's good. So they love it. It's satisfying, very much so for me. These pictures really mean something to these people. And they stick. And they're going to be around for the rest of their lives. So how about a prairie wedding, something that's not indoors at all, really? Throughout any wedding reception I shoot, I'm always thinking about the direction of light, the emotions, the moments, certainly, but directions of light and background. When you're outdoors, it's really up to you to make these things work. All these things we're talking about. I'm building a picture story with these things, a beginning, middle, and an end. I use those detail shots, surprising shots, emotions, you name it. I'm building all that into these pictures to try to tell the story of the day here. So let's go through another wedding, much smaller affair out on the prairie, close to where I live. My friend Randy Doctor and his new bride Vonnie were out at Spring Creek Prairie by Lincoln. And I liked it. I mean, the light was a little harsh to start out, but the prairie skies are big and building. Same thing as when I was with Ellen and Spencer in that parking lot. If I can't clean up the background, I'll get down low. Remember when we were in that parking lot with all the structures behind them and we worked through that? I'm just getting down low to clean up any distractions and show that big sky. I use the sky as my background all the time. And granted, there are some detail shots you need to cover if you want to be thorough. But again, that low perspective with a sky and clouds as your background, that can be very powerful. It really can. I use my 24 to 70 millimeter lens a lot on these pictures, a lot. And I get different effects by moving. I use my feet and I move closer and farther away and not afraid to get dirty. I get down on the ground. I get up high. There we are leaving some simple portraits. Now the sky's getting more and more ominous. No more sun. It's getting dark. It looks like it's going to rain. That's good stuff too. I use that dark background. I shoot into that dark background. I love the fact that her clothing kind of matches the patina in the sky. Now look at this, just a portrait of the bride and groom. This is their wedding portrait. I'm gonna have them moved down low, and I really have them sticking out of the hill. A little bit of a bridge there up in that corner. Just a nice portrait where they're contained in this prairie. Or we can get down low and show the sky and they really stand out. There's no right or wrong way. It's just a matter of seeing things kind of clearly and thinking about your options. I'm trying different things. I'm always trying different things. And that's on the way out. So as we go back to his place, the sun comes out again, the storm passes, and we're in his garage. That works. Just get a few pictures of the day showing all the people that came to the reception. These will all be valuable to them later on as they get older. Another little chance to do a portrait in the garage. Just nice soft light, get them together, do a quick picture. Nice shot showing the cake. Usually the cakes are very extravagant, very expensive. We want to get a good picture of that. And then I noticed these logs laying around. I'm thinking, logs? Why are there logs? Well, there's logs because it turns out Randy is an arborist and he has a bucket truck. So of course, over the great objections of my wife, why would I make him work on a day like this? Well, he's not working. He's sending me up, still wearing his beautiful wedding suit. He's sending me up in the bucket truck so I can do this. This is unusual for a wedding photographer to get up and over the crowd, but that's his house. He built it with his own hands. And there's the happy couple and all their friends, and they can see who was there. Everybody's out there, they're all waving, and it's kind of fun. It shows where they're living, everybody's happy and young, and they're forever that age in that picture. Love it, love it. So let's talk about birthday parties a bit too, because those are the other biggies for us, aren't they? Weddings and birthday parties. Let's talk about something that happens in everybody's lives, especially if you have kids. Such a big deal. When you get my age, maybe you don't want to think about birthdays, but for kids, boy, they're a big deal. Kids look forward to them all year. And you know, these are great opportunities to practice taking candid pictures, aren't they? Even if we don't like our own birthdays coming around, they are good opportunities to make good pictures. With 3 kids in my house, we have a lot of these celebrations, and I photograph every one every year. Again, we use all the same techniques that you've been learning in the course so far. Composition, low light photography, flash, telling a story with pictures. My little boy, Spencer, turned 8 while we were in Lincoln shooting the field video footage for this course. So we had a little birthday party to celebrate. It wasn't a big celebration, just my wife, Cole, Ellen, and the birthday boy himself. But there are some important things to think about if you're going to get the best shots you can from an event like this. Let me show you what I mean in this little video. So we are here in my dining room, and it is a big day. Spencer is going to turn 8 years old. Today's his birthday, so we're going to have a little party. Now, before we have a birthday party, or you have a birthday party, you want to think about some basic things like where to put the birthday person. Where do you put them? And you say, what do you mean, where do you put them? I just let them sit where they want. No, not if you're trying to do good pictures. You make sure that they're sitting in a place that doesn't kill you, right? You really want to make sure that. So in this room, I tried putting him at the head of the table down there, but you know, there's this big mirror and it's going to reflect flash and it's going to, I don't know, it's going to do all sorts of things. So I knew that that would be a bad spot because it's cluttered. I also know this, and this is very important. Wherever I put him counts. Background's got to be good because he's the emotional center of the whole thing. That's where all the action is. It's on the birthday boy or birthday girl. It's where all the presents are going to come. That's where the candles are going to get blown out. So we really want to watch this. You want to take that shining star, the birthday person, and put them in a really sweet spot so that then your pictures come very easily to you. So that's what this is about. Oh, you know one other thing? Make sure you have a fresh card in your camera, because if you're on the last picture and you go to take pictures and he blows out the candles and you're out of pictures, you can be very sad. So let's get started. Look at how pretty that looks. Oh, that looks nice. Look at everybody back there. Okay, very nice. Okay, Spencer, go ahead, go ahead. Yay! Nice, yay! Okay, so now we have present opening, but me being the bad guy that I am stopping everything so that I can talk a little bit about how to capture this. I like to use flash when I'm doing something that happens indoors especially, and it's a flurry of activity like kids rampaging through presents. I like to use flash because it freezes the action. Most people think about flash just as illuminating. Well, I think about flash as going off so fast that freezes the action in an indoor situation. So that's how I do it. There's two ways of doing that, obviously. You can have a direct flash, such as on a little point and shoot like this. I can point that at Spencer, and he's looking kind of disgusted because he can't take his, get his presents opened yet. Or I can use this camera, which has a flash that I just mount to the top, and I'm going to do a technique called bounce flash. Literally, I've got the head of the flash, instead of blasting him straight ahead like that, I'm going to angle that thing up at the ceiling and bounce down. It's going to create a nice cascading effect. It's going to soften the light. It's going to make it look very, very natural. It's just going to make it look like room light. You'll never even know the flash hit him. That's the thing about flash. It ruins more pictures than it gets. So that's what we're going to do. Are you ready, Spencer, to open your presents finally?
Yes.
You're such a sweet kid. Okay, go ahead, Ellen. Pass him some presents. Let's see what kind of pictures we can get, okay?
Somebody got me a cookie.
Well, don't guess. Open them up, man. Let's see how it looks.
Thanks.
What is it?
From Nate Repeats. It's Star Wars.
Oh, let's see. Hold it up. Hold it up. Nice.
R2-D2.
Very nice. Okay, what else? What else?
Okay, what's in here?
That's pretty snazzy wrapping paper.
Okay.
What is it?
It's Kids About 13. Sure, Dad.
What is that? Nice. Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to say this. I tend to work these kids like rented mules because I'm a photographer, but I don't ruin their holidays. Today is a little bit different, and I am stopping Spencer from opening presents, that kind of thing. But when you're taking pictures, do your homework in advance, study, practice a little bit so that you don't have to hold things up. Just because you have a camera is not a license to ruin every holiday and special event in your house. Be ready to go, know what you're doing, it'll come naturally, and just let people have fun. And they won't hate you the rest of their lives. Okay, go ahead, Spencer.
Okay. Another present.
How'd you get so lucky? You must have been a good kid, huh?
Ooh, soda pops. Popsicles.
Yum.
Okay, what's left?
One more thing. It's
There
a
you-
huge present.
It's a huge one. What do you think? Do you guys each have blowers? Nice. Okay. Give Spencer a little blow action before he... Oh.
Microphone.
What is it?
Yeah.
What is it? Let me see. Oh no, that's going to keep me up at night. Oh man. Hey, turn that around towards me. Hold it up. Everybody give him a little, whatever you call those things. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. All right.
That's it, bud.
That's
Happy
it.
birthday.
Yay! We've done the birthday candles being blown out, and we have done the present opening, and now we are going to cut the cake. And the thing to think about too is, after you get the action of the presents being opened, that's when most people put the camera away. But actually, it's really fun to shoot the aftermath. All the carnage on the table of the presents being opened, people eating cake. Like on certain holidays like Thanksgiving, I'll shoot people laying around on the floor because they're too full to move. They look like beach whales. I'll shoot that. I always look for the stuff that happens before and after a big event because that's actually the best stuff. Nobody thinks to shoot that. So I think I'm going to shoot a little bit here, starting with a little bit of above, always thinking about the angles, high angle, low angle, and just see what else we can get. I'm sure we'll get something. How is it, Spencer?
Good.
Of course, it's ice cream cake. Nice. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Elm, eat it.
No, you have to eat
You
it.
eat it.
You have to eat it.
You eat it.
You.
You eat it. Ugh.
Joel, you're going to have to.
I will absolutely have some. Absolutely. And the other thing too, what I like to do most, I like to put the camera down. I'll shoot a few, and I'll actually have fun. The camera is it's a great barrier. It really separates you from what's going on. So instead of enjoying the birthday party, I have worked the birthday party. They are exclusive in a way. So if you really want to actually engage with your family and have fun, you don't shoot the whole thing. You turn the camera off and you have some cake. That's really important. So dig me up a piece, son. So pretty quiet, wasn't it? I hope you know that we did start and stop that celebration for this course. In the real world, your job as a good event photographer is to be a fly on the wall, be prepared, not stop the action once it started. That's usually how I shoot these kids' parties. I try to just hang out and get whatever I can. By the way, daughter Ellen used to have parties like this. Just nice little Cinderella cake, she's sweet as can be. But nowadays, it looks more like this, which is kind of a mess, you know. She really gets excited, as do all kids. They love it, no matter what. It's rowdy, and I try not to stop the action. I try to just let it go, and they have a great time. Who wants to stop the action anyway? And this applies to other birthday parties as well. I like to just hang out. That nice and easy. You know, a lot of the things I've talked about in that field shoot are relevant for other special occasions too. I try to find the emotional center of the event. I try to be aware of the backgrounds and the light, be prepared, and vary my perspective. I do that with everything I shoot to try to do something different and catch the real emotions. A fly on the wall, get those candid shots. That's how I try to do it. Anytime I'm at any type of holiday event, I do the same thing, the same way. Just like with the weddings, I try to get the preparation and the start. It's getting there early that really pays off. I like to do this, let's say, on July 4th with buntings going up on people's porches, kids playing in the yards, multiple families getting together. I try to think about this all the time. Halloween, no exception. Try to show the kids mummifying each other with toilet paper, the kids in their costumes. This I love. Cole has cut a hole in the table and it's just his head, supposedly his head. When kids come up, there's Ellen dressed as Dorothy. When kids come up, he asks them if they want to take candy off the table in front of his head. I like that a lot. But I try to shoot anything I can. Spencer in a pancake outfit Kathy made him. Ellen in a witch outfit Kathy made. Spencer as a robot. Same costume designer, my wife. Me goofing around as Frankenstein. Love this too. Ellen loves to eat candy to the point where she gets sick. Okay, so she's sick from eating too much candy. I show that too. Merciless, aren't I? Terrible, terrible. You know, Thanksgiving though is one of my favorites, to be honest. It's lots of people, families gathered about. They're having a great time. I show them arriving, piles of food coming out. It's just really, really nice. It's a great time for people to just relax and pay attention to each other. All of us in the same room. It's really great. If you think about it, it's one of the very few times that people ever linger at the dinner table these days. We're all in such a big rush, you know? We've all got to do something. Not on this day. We're just there to enjoy each other's company, to sit together, and to talk. People will linger over the dinner table. They'll linger in the living room. They'll have some more wine. It's just a great day. Seconds and thirds of turkey. And we're not rushed. This is a great time to actually work photographs. You don't have to rush your pictures because you're going to get ample opportunities. Now don't shoot everything. Just have your camera there. Pick up your camera, think about your light, think about your perspective, think about what's going on. Think about all this. Look for the right background and look for the nice moment. Fire off a few, not a ton, maybe. If you don't see a good opportunity, don't take any pictures at all. Just enjoy it. How about that? Now remember that post-holiday stuff makes frames too. The holiday's good, but it's the before and after that's unexpected. I try to show the prep, and I try to show the after effects too. Afterwards, I show people lying around exhausted, the aftermath, the mess. You can show all that. You can't go wrong when you've covered it as if you were covering a picture story, like a movie. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know, one thing we do at our house is we do holiday cards every year. Every year we swear it's going to be the last because there's so much work involved and we can't agree on the subject. But I thought I'd show a few with these to kind of finish out this lecture. I'm a photographer after all. My wife's creative as well. We're both visual people. So I just thought I'd show you that this same thing applies to holiday cards. This was one of our first ones. Warm wishes. My wife made a fake turkey out of paper mache. There's the dog eating dog food out of it. We got the dog up on there, our Afghan hound named Joan. Let's see, what else? When we had our first child, there's Joan. We're Mount Rushmore, obviously. This is another favorite. It's been 3 weeks. Santa's got to go. So that's once the kids got a little older. This one was kind of sad. We're all crying. It says, Christmas morning, naughty family, empty stockings, broken hearts. That's okay. Oh, what else? Oh, we formed a cult one year. Christmas off the grid. We formed a cult. It's kind of nice. Kathy made those dresses. Oh, this was last year's. We just can't quit you, old Saint Nicotine. Is it wrong to be lighting up an 8-year-old cigarette? We didn't actually light it. Just so you know, Child Social Services. Oh, and this last one, we got our cards out so late. Christmas was over by the time we sent them out. So, never give Spencer a shotgun. So, by the way, my wife and I start arguing, and I mean discussing next year's cards the moment we've done the last one. And it takes about a year. It's never easy. In fact, usually one of us threatens to boycott every year, but somehow we get it done. Sometimes we play off lighter news events. Sometimes we're just trying to visually fill out some caption one of us thought up. It's not easy, but what fun would it be if it was? Common mistakes. One common mistake I see a lot in holiday pictures or weddings or birthdays is when the photographer misses the little moment. A lot of good pictures are missed because the photographers are staring at the back of their camera looking at what they've just shot. I try to limit that. When you want to start shooting a scene, look at the back of the camera once to make sure you're not blowing out the highlights, and then start shooting. Concentrate on what's in the viewfinder, always. You know, when I shoot, everybody's usually happy and excited to be there. They're getting along well. I'm a fly on the wall. Even if they aren't happy, I sneak off a picture or two there too, even if there's some tension. But I shoot first, I ask questions later. As a journalist, that's what I'm trained to do. Now, mind you, I don't work delicate situations to the hilt. I discriminate, I don't abuse it. I have my camera there. People know I'm a photographer. They know me well enough. They know they're going to get their picture taken if they hang around my house or if I come to theirs. But I try to make sure people always get prints, that they're looking good, that their kids are sweet looking, and they like it. There's a payoff for putting up with me. So your assignment for this lecture: shoot only candids at the next big event you go to. I wonder if you can do it. Sure you can. You've had this course. No subjects smiling and stiff for the camera. No lining people up in a row like bowling pins with a fixed grimace on their face. Only candids at the next event you go to. That also means you cannot tell people what to do. You have to just hang out. You have to observe. Notice the light. Notice the direction, the perspective. Choose the right lens. You're going to be shooting a good quality picture, but what the subject is doing is out of your control. No direction. You cannot direct them, okay? Going to really need to use what you've learned in these lectures now. Try to pick your moments carefully, choose the right places, where the light looks best, where the background looks best. Get something interesting, please. You do not have to worry about making stiff portraits where everybody's wearing a cheesy grin. This is very freeing, you guys. You're going to enjoy not having to worry about that and just shooting the kind of pictures you want to take, not the kind of pictures you think other people want to see. So good luck, have fun with this, and in our next lecture we're going to go on vacation, or at least talk about vacation and travel pictures. We'll see you then.